Hello everybody, CodeOnBite here, and I just repaired my Efficiency 5 diamond pickaxe. And the reason I did that is because I am going to be hollowing out a big area in the ground this episode. Don't worry, I'll be doing it off camera. So yeah, last episode we explored the Nether Fortress, and I was originally going to have us, make a potion room and blah 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 and all that stuff that you do after you conquer another fortress in this episode. But I don't know, I spent some time making the Nether portal room look all pretty, and I will be showing you that shortly. And let me tell you, I am just sick of making things look all Nethery themed and whatnot. So So the witch farm has been running all this time, and got a pretty good haul in here. Got a good amount of redstone, got some gunpowder, got some glowstone dust, and a bunch of glass bottles too. So we won't have to make any of those when we start potion making. I'm just gonna take all this with me too. And of course, once I light up all the caves around here, this thing is going to be running, much faster. So yeah. So right now, I've just prepared a trough in the ground that is 24 meters long, and we will be putting these hoppers in this trough. And this is where all of the sugarcane is going to land on. If you were short on iron, you could use water streams and then just have like one or two hoppers that it would land on. But because I have plenty of iron, I can afford to make all these hoppers. So yeah, you can just have the sugarcane land directly on hoppers once it gets broken. And let's just check. Always got to make sure that the hoppers are pointed the correct direction. Yep, they're pointed the correct direction. Alright, let's put this back then. And I will be adding lighting in here because there's going to be a lot of stuff built on top of this, and I don't want any hostile mobs to spawn in there. So let's see, it's 24. Let's just do pumpkins. I got a whole bunch of pumpkins, by the way, so yeah. Alright guys, so I finished adding in these hoppers down here. So we have a strip of hoppers that is 24 meters long. And I did not realize this, but apparently the collision box for the hopper actually takes into account the fact that it's like a funnel with a hole in the middle, and it's kind of hard, but it's actually, you see that, it's actually possible when you stand right in the middle of it to sink down right into the middle of the hopper, which I don't know, I just think that's kind of cool. So now, what we're going to do is, not yet, no, signs not yet, is add in the dirt right up here. Alright, so this is the dirt where the sugarcane is going to be planted. And now what we're going to do is put signs right here, right below the dirt. And that's because we're going to have our water right between these dirt blocks up here. The signs actually aren't necessary on the bottommost level because we're right above the hoppers, and if the water were allowed to flow down, it would be fine. But I'm going to put them up here just for continuity reasons, because I don't know, I'm just kind of anal. I like all the different modules to be exactly the same. So yeah. Alright guys, so I just went back and I grabbed damn it, and I'm going to keep falling in here, aren't I? And I grabbed a couple of buckets because I need 2 buckets of water to fill this in, because the center block of water will become an infinite source. All you need is 2 buckets, so yeah, we're just going to fill this in. And also, well, I guess you can't really see it with the water, but here, I'll just block this off briefly. Yeah, notice how there's light coming up through the hoppers? That's because I put pumpkins. I replaced some of the stone brick blocks that I had next to the hoppers. I replaced some of them with pumpkins. And so, yeah, I don't know. I guess the light just comes up through them. I don't really know why, but it's just one of the peculiar things about Minecraft. So, yeah, I'm not going to complain since it's actually convenient in this case. Since, yeah, I kind of like it. It lights the hoppers without me having to have any actual lighting visible. So yeah, okay. So the water is all filled in now, so now we can go ahead and plant our sugarcane. And yeah. Alright, so now that that's all planted, we can just, I'm just going to surround this dirt with the stone brick blocks for aesthetic purposes, but also because I'd like to use pumpkins for lighting. And one of the annoying things about pumpkins is that you have to have a solid opaque block under them when you place them. You can remove the block later, but yeah, it's just annoying. So yeah, we're putting these blocks down, but I don't know, I think it makes it look a bit better. I think those torches dropped into the hoppers, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm just gonna completely fill in with the jack-o'-lanterns because I like the way it looks. So you don't need nearly this many. I mean, like one every 10 blocks, maybe even more, I think is enough to keep mobs from spawning. So yeah. So I'm gonna then put the put some stone brick right here, and I'm gonna have to clear this out of the way. But I'm gonna not put any stone brick in here because I think I'm gonna have glass in here. So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clear that out because it's gonna be in the way. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I cleared out most of this this thing in here that was in the way. That was the platform that I was standing on while I cleared out the higher ceiling. And yeah, so now we place our pistons, and we place them just right on top of these jack-o'-lanterns here. So we'll have a total of 48 pistons for this module here. So yeah, go around like this, and we put them. And the pistons will be powered. We'll have some blocks attached to the outside of them with the redstone running on top of it. And the nice thing about that is that those same blocks will be able to power another module as well. So that'll be pretty convenient. So we'll just put some blocks here like this. And we'll do the same for the other side. Alright. And then, oops, gotta get up here. And then we'll just have the redstone going right on top of them like this. And I'm going to be powering this redstone from below with a torch, and so that's why I'm able to get away with having it. So with having 24 continuous pieces of redstone, I'm just going to have a torch right in under a block that's right in the middle of here, and then we'll be able to power it. So yeah, that's why I was able to make a module that's so big. So yeah. And this farm is going to be completely automatic, and so instead of having the pistons fire when we push a button, we'll instead just have them, we'll just have a clock that makes them fire, say, I don't know, every 5 minutes or whatever, and then any sugarcane that's grown will be broken off, and it will fall right through the water, land on these hoppers, and will get pushed along to here. And we'll have like a whole pipeline of hoppers that brings them over to here, and we're going to have a bunch of chests stacked on top of each other, and that's how we're going to collect it. And now, I should mention that it is possible to transport items vertically. And I was just watching some YouTube videos about how to make item elevators, and I found this really nice one. I'll go into more detail about how to make it later on. Let's see, should have a piston. But is by this guy. I think he's about 9 years old, and he's a freaking genius. I don't really understand how his item elevator works, but I tested it out and it works. So I'm going to be using something that a 9-year-old designed in my world, and so yeah. Alright guys, so I decided to extend the farm horizontally before I start stacking them on top of each other. I just actually ran to the store to get something for my mom. She's sick at the moment, so you know, just getting something for her. And I actually forgot why it was that I changed my mind, but whatever. Point is, I did change my mind, and so yeah, I'm going to be building, you know, extra modules next to this first one before I start stacking them on top of each other. And I don't know. I mean, I guess you could go either way on it, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So let's see. So to extend it horizontally, you have these blocks here that the redstone is on top of. So your pistons are gonna go right here, and the dirt blocks where the sugarcane is growing need to be right next to these pistons, so that the pistons will break the sugarcane. So then you have your pistons, and then the dirt blocks move one over, and then of course the hoppers are one over from these dirt blocks. So yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have finished this second module that I built right next to the first module. So now what we have to do is wire these together so that when we send a single redstone pulse to the system, all of the pistons will fire. And yeah, there's actually two different systems that we have to connect together. We have to, of course, connect these item transport tubes together. We have to do the item transport system, and we have to do the redstone wiring that I just mentioned. And I think I'm going to connect the redstone together first, simply because it doesn't make much sense to have an item transport tube if you don't have the pistons firing to break off the items in the first place. So yeah, so what I'm doing here is just digging out a trench here, and I'm just going to replace this with stone brick. I don't know, I just really don't like placing redstone on messy looking blocks, or blocks that look natural, like dirt. Well, dirt's especially bad, but you know, smooth stone and even cobblestone. I prefer to have something that I know is artificial, so that, you know, I don't know, I mean, it is nice, you know, that I don't accidentally remove the block, you know, from below at some point, not realizing there's redstone on it. And stone brick doesn't occur naturally except in strongholds, and I think if there were a stronghold under my house, I'd know about it with all the X-raying that I've been doing. I want to have a block right here with a torch on top, and then we test to make sure that all of the pistons on this side fire. Yep, they all go. Perfect. Okay. Alright guys, so I got the redstone wiring all done. So basically all we have to do is power this block, and keep in mind that a redstone torch does not power the block that it is attached to. It powers any other block that's adjacent to it, but not the one that it's attached to, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So yeah, all you have to do is power this block, which we'll do putting some redstone dust here, and the torch there. All the pistons should fire. So let's go up and make sure that they all indeed are in the extended position. Let's see. Looks good on this one. Looks good on this one. So 96 pistons sticking out right now. Alright guys, so we got the pistons all wired up so that now we can activate them all with just a single redstone signal. But we still need to make an automated timer so that every so often it will activate them, you know, automatically. The reason for that is that we want this farm to be completely and totally automatic so that we can have sugarcane get harvested even when we're not here. So we're going to have to make some sort of timer for it. So I'm just going to dig out an area here, and then I'll meet you back here when that's done, and we will make the timer. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright guys, so while I hollow out this area, I think I'm just going to talk a little bit about what it is that we need to do now. We need to pulse those pistons periodically. And this isn't the first time we've needed to have something happen, you know, on a cycle. I mean, in the witch farm, we had to make a sort of a clock of sorts to, you know, shift the floor, you know, every couple seconds or so. And for that, we used the minecart, just because we were being kind of goofy. You know, I went on about how I like to used to watch the train at that mall that isn't really a mall that's near my house. And, you know, so I did that kind of for lulz. But that's not like the serious way you make a clock. Like, if you actually want to make a periodic clock type thing, you know, that's not the way. That's not the way you do it if you're trying to do it as efficiently as possible. So basically, what you do is you just create a circuit of repeaters, and we're going to set these on the 4-tick delay. And then, yeah, you can just make like a little circuit like this with redstone. So this will, let's see. Oops, yeah, I forgot to put the redstone here. So yeah, this is going to send a signal every 1.6 seconds. So if we were to connect the pistons to, to this thing, they'd pulse every 1.6 seconds. However, that's a bit that's kind of frequent for us to have them pulsing. We're going to turn it off because it's really annoying. So that's a bit frequent. I mean, we definitely don't need to pulse them every 1.6 seconds. It's noisy, you know, and it'll cause lag. I mean, it won't necessarily lag, but it is extra processing for the CPU to do, and there's really no reason for us to pulse them every 1.6 seconds. That's a lot, and it's noisy, as I said. Did I mention that it's noisy? Yeah, noise is actually something that's kind of important to consider in Minecraft because, I don't know, but yeah. Alright guys, so I've made 2 repeater clocks here. Now as I said, I wanted to make these pistons fire every 2 minutes. I may change that later, you know, but 2 minutes seems like a good starting point. And to do just a standard repeater clock that fires every 2 minutes, you'd need 300 repeaters, and we don't quite have the room for that. Well, I mean, we do, but like, I don't want to dig out enough room for it, and I don't want to spend all that redstone on repeaters. And it turns out there's a much better way. So I've made 2 repeater clocks here. This one is 36 ticks. This one is 35 ticks. Notice that this repeater is only set to 3 ticks, unlike the rest of them, which are set to 4 ticks. So now, if we start these 2 repeater clocks going, then they will both be in sync. In other words, they'll both fire at the same time once every 1260 ticks, you know, because 36 times 35 is 1260. So yeah. So now, if we are to detect when when both of these repeater clocks are putting out a signal at the same time, and we do that with an AND gate, then we will get a signal every about every 2 minutes. It's slightly more. It's 2 minutes and 6 seconds, but you know, who cares? It's close enough. So yeah, if we were to start these, then this torch will come on once every 2 minutes. However, there is a little problem with that. It turns out that this torch does not come on once every 2 minutes. Not quite, because these repeaters are set to 4 ticks each. There will be times when they are not perfectly in sync. In other words, the output signal is a 4-tick pulse, whereas for us to get a single pulse only once every 2 minutes, we'd need to have these have the output pulse be 1 tick. but these are 4 ticks. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, in other words, sometimes, there will be one time every 2 minutes where both of these are on for the same time for the full 4 tick pulse, but there will also be times when it's when there's some overlap, but they're not perfectly in sync, if that made any sense. So what we have to do is detect when the pulse, when the output signal is we need to detect and only fire the pistons when the pulse that's outputted from this AND gate is 4 ticks long. If it's a little bit less than that, then we need to ignore it. And the way we do that is with an AND gate, but where we have the repeater, this repeater here, set to 3 ticks. So in other words, the signal will come out of this AND gate, and it will immediately arrive here. Remember, it's 4 ticks long, but then it will only arrive at this one 3 ticks later. And so it will only detect pulses that are at least 4 ticks or longer, and then it will subtract 3 from them and output the pulse. So yeah. So then this torch will put out a signal that is a 1 tick pulse, and it will output it about once every 2 minutes, and 6 seconds. So yeah. All right. I hope that made any sense at all. Alright, so now we need to start these clocks, and to make sure that I do it precisely, I'm going to use a pulse generator to start them, just to make sure that the pulse that they are started with is only 1 tick long, because if it were a different length, it could screw things up. So yeah, so we have that sticky piston. This is the same type of pulse generator that we use in the witch farm, and then I'll just flip this. What the? Alright, we'll put the lever here. Yep. Alright, so now these 2 clocks are going, and that we just need to start this type of repeater clock. You just need a single pulse to start it going, and then you are good. And then they'll just go automatically. So I'm just going to wait for them to fire again, and we'll see whether they all fire. Now notice that some of the sugarcane has grown to be 3 blocks tall. We don't want that, because see, when the sugarcane is 3 blocks tall, the third block, the sugarcane piece that's from that was on the 3rd block up, it will fall on top of here. It won't get pushed to the middle by the pistons, which we don't want. So that's why when we set the period for the pistons, we want to make sure that none of the sugarcane has time to grow to be 3 blocks tall. We only want it to grow to be 2 blocks tall. And if we fire the pistons so that it only has time to be 2 blocks tall, then we won't really be wasting any sugarcane, so to speak. So now what we have to do is extend the hopper pipeline over to there. So I think I'm going to have it running right at this level. So I'll have the hopper here pointing this way, and I'll also have to I already placed that hopper over here, but I'll also have to remove it, and ooh, there's some sugarcane in it. And let's see, point it this way. Let's put a block here just so I can do this easily. Yeah, alright. Oh, and I'm going to need some more hoppers. I'll just run and grab some and craft me some. So you'll notice I removed a lot of the item frames, and that's because I noticed that they were causing lag, which is a little bit weird. We'll make five stacks of hoppers. That should be good. Let's see. Ooh, right, yeah, I have the other cobblestone thing over here. But yeah, I think because they are entities, they're causing lag. So yeah, gotta make me some more chests as well. Man, I gotta say, I am really glad that I have that golem farm. Cause can you imagine how hard it would be to get enough iron to make all the hoppers that we want to make without one? I mean, each chunk in Minecraftia has, on average, about 70 pieces of iron ore in it. And yeah, so that means that if you were to mine out all the iron in a chunk, you'd have enough for 14 hoppers. Just 14, that's ridiculous. So yeah, if you haven't built an iron golem farm yet, I'd go build one. You know, Mojang's been adding all kinds of new stuff that it just uses a whole lot of iron. You know, they added the anvil. They added beacons, which don't use iron, but which require a pyramid of mineral blocks to power them. And iron is, of course, the easiest, by far the easiest type of mineral block to make. So yeah, let me get an iron golem farm. All right, so I'm going to run this hopper pipeline back here, and then we're going to look at how the heck you transport items vertically. Which, by the way, is possible. I think I've already said that, but it is possible to transport them vertically. It's just not quite as trivial as transporting them horizontally or downward, so let's see. I think we'll go just a... Alright guys, so now all the dirt is placed, so I'm just going to place these stone brick blocks here next to this dirt. And then the pumpkins will be placed on top of those. And, yeah.
Scoop, Muck, and Dizzy, and Rolly too. Lofty and Wendy join the crew. Bob and the gang have so much fun. Working together, they get the job done.
Alright guys, so I went ahead and I connected the this top side module here. So let me show you guys how you wire the bottom module to the top, so that when the pistons fire, the pistons up top will also fire. So we carried the signal from the clock down below to the first level using these sort of stacked torches. However, we can't do that we can't use that method to bring the signal from here to up here, because we'd have to put like a torch right here, and that would just be, then this torch would be on when the thing is off, and these pistons would always be on. It'd just be a mess, okay? I messed around a bunch in my creative mode world, and it just doesn't work. So to carry the signal up, we have to go to the ends. And note that this whole thing is, the pistons are, the part that's orange here is 24 meters long, and a redstone signal can go at most 15 blocks away. So what you do is you come to the end of... Alright, let's see if I can get up here. Yeah, alright, let's see. So you come to the end here, and, not what I wanted. So you just come to the end right here, and then see this block. See, this is the last block that's next to a piston. Then on the block after that, put a repeater. Oh, that was dumb. And then you put just a regular block there, with some redstone on top, like that. And then you take your half slabs and you place an upside down half slab right here, and remove this block. Then you put the redstone on it. And because this is an upside down half slab, it does not cut off this redstone signal. I believe this will only transmit a signal upwards. You can't use this same method with the upside down half slabs to transport a signal down. notice that only about half the pistons went. And that's because the signal from this repeater will only travel 15 meters. And so let's see, 1, 2, so it's 2 right here. And then, so yeah, we have to do the same thing on the other side so that there's a full signal, full strength signal. So I will do that. Let's see, we'll just, and we will be putting blocks up here to cover this. I may eventually extend it, you know, at a third level, but for now I'm just going to add more modules next to these ones. So yeah. Yep, all fired. And again, the sugarcane, there's some that grew 3 tall. That's why there's a piece right here that didn't go into the middle. But overall, most of the sugarcane goes into the middle where it should. The best part is we don't have to do anything at all for this sugarcane to be harvested. So yeah, I think I'm going to increase the duration of the piston cycle so that the pistons are extended for longer, because I'm noticing that there are still some pieces of sugarcane like right here that don't quite make it to the middle. And I'm pretty sure making the pistons stay extended for longer will sort of force those ones into the middle. At least more of them. At least that's my hope anyway. And I'm also going to have the thing wait longer between piston cycles, because I mean, every 2 minutes, that's fairly often. Although, no, every 2 minutes is pretty good, I guess. I don't know, I'll think about it. Next episode, this whole thing will be finished, and we'll be getting quite a bit of sugarcane. And then, since we have a good source of sugarcane, we'll start setting up a villager trading mall thing with a villager disposal system that will use our zombie dungeon and whatnot. That's going to be a big project, but hey, whatever. Big project's my middle name. So yeah, then we'll have all this sugarcane to sell to the librarians to get emeralds. And it's especially good since we don't have to do anything to get this sugarcane. I mean, it'll just be given to us automatically. So yeah. Alright guys, peace out. Oh yeah, Until Dinner Bone nerfs the sugarcane trading. Oh, a sign got in there. That's kind of funny. Alright, peace out.